Guys, no shade, no tea, but why do we have to have LGBTQ plus representation in all of the shows? We're trying to normalize it by putting it in our shows. Not everybody wants that in their shows.
Do they even make shows about a man loving a girl anymore? Like, I can't find a show on any platform where the characters are just not
Hey,
gay.
I'm gay. I'm coming out. I'm a lesbian. I'm coming out. I'm a pansexual. I'm a non-binary. I'm a trans. Why do we care?
Homophobia still exists, and it's actually growing across the country. As much as I'd love to write this off as internet trolls, this regressive state of mind goes way beyond what we see on the internet. You probably know since the early 2000s, LGBTQ plus inclusion has been steadily trending upward. Up until about 4 years ago, the belief that being gay is morally good was at an all-time high. In fact, 71% of Americans believed that being gay or lesbian was morally acceptable. But then we look at just last year, and that number dipped by 7%. Now, I know 7% doesn't sound like much, but when you zoom out and look at the big picture, that is 2.8 million Americans changing their minds. That is 2.8 million new people who now believe that being gay is morally unacceptable. To put that into perspective, that is more than the entire population of Chicago now believing that being gay is morally unjust. And although Disney dropped the absolute ball on this quirky and adorable show, The Owl House, it's important that we still talk about it today. Because if a first world country like the United States is regressing back to a don't say gay era, it's our responsibility to keep having these conversations. Queer people have always existed, and they will continue to exist, no matter which way the polls trend.
This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
We need to talk about one of the biggest controversies surrounding The Owl House. It was a Disney Channel series, which means it was marketed for children, which according to some people means that it shouldn't include gay characters, apparently. Now, everyone is entitled to their opinion. If someone truly believes that no children's content should include any romance, no kissing, no hugging, no dating, then all power to you. That's a stance you're allowed to take. But then you need to hold all sexualities to that same standard. And that's where this argument completely falls apart. If you were genuinely outraged by the 4 kisses shared by Luce and Amity, 2 on the cheek and then 2 on the lips, then where was that same outrage for Kim and Ron on Kim Possible? They shared a fair number of romantic kisses. The same network, it's the same audience, and it's the same age rating. Surely you must have been furious that Disney aired that to the children, right? Or what about the countless kiss scenes shared between heterosexual couples in Star versus the Forces of Evil? Oh, right. You didn't care about those because you were too focused on the background kiss shared between 2 men. You're so right. They are absolutely shoving an agenda down our throats. And this is where the "we're just protecting the children" argument completely falls apart, because it was never a legitimate argument to begin with. The romance in The Owl House, which, by the way, is incredibly sweet, innocent, and perfectly relatable for many young viewers, was never actually offensive or inappropriate. It was offensive to certain people because the same-sex inclusion went against their regressive worldview. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may have noticed something. The quality of this video, I think, is a lot better than my previous videos. I wanted to show gratitude to my viewers by improving the quality of my lighting, script, and sound. And I couldn't have done that without the help of Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of high-quality classes for creative and curious people.
I personally used Premiere Pro to edit my videos. For a long time, I only knew the basics and wanted to expand my skills, but I didn't feel confident exploring new tools on my own. So that's where Skillshare came in. Within seconds, I had access to hundreds of well-structured classes that helped me level up my editing. I took this class on mastering sound design on Premiere Pro, and it has been such a great tool making this video. Thanks to this class, I was able to find the right balance between my voiceovers and music soundtracks, pick the appropriate sound effects, and elevate the overall quality of my videos. Another thing I really love is how customizable the platform is. I can filter classes by length, from under 30 minutes to over 2 hours, or by materials, so I know I'm prepared before jumping in.
Skillshare is something I genuinely wish I had found sooner. It has saved me so many hours by helping me find exactly what I want to learn without endless searching and scrolling.
If you're interested in Skillshare and want to test it out, the first 500 people to click the link in my description or to scan this QR code will receive a 1-month free trial.
With that time, you could learn how to make sourdough bread, or how to animate a walk cycle, or how to crochet small bumblebees. The options truly are endless, and all it takes is a click down below.
Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
If you're watching this video, you probably love the Owl House, its LGBTQ+ inclusion, and Lumity, which is amazing, obviously. But I think a lot of people underestimate just how many individuals Lumity actually offended in the real world. So let me help put that into perspective. 16,000 people. That is the number of individuals who signed a petition to get the Owl House banned. That is the population of a small city. That's the number of students at Syracuse University. Or that's 222 full school buses. And remember, this number represents more than just a background cultural trend. All of those petition signatures were intentional, conscious actions taken by homophobic individuals. And that's exactly why ships like Lumity matter so much. The Owl House, with roughly 18 hours of total screen time, made it clear from the beginning that queer love will not be silenced on their show. Even if the show ended up being canceled by Disney, it went out on its own terms. Lately, you'll hear people asking the same tired question. Why do gay characters need to be in everything? Why can't we just binge a show without a same-sex couple just showing up? Why are there queer storylines everywhere? The short answer is because those stories sell. And they sell especially well to a niche that traditional, sterilized, heterosexual romance stories can't even come close to reaching. Animation lovers. Nearly half of Gen Z and millennial adults prefer animated content over live action, even though live action content outnumbers animation by a factor of about 8 to 1. And thanks to younger audiences, the demand for adult-targeted animation skyrocketed by 150% between years 2020 and 2023. And here's the really important part. About 25% of Americans aged from 18 to 27 years old identify as LGBTQ+, even though just 9% of the entire population of America falls under that category. This means we have a highly concentrated group of viewers, queer young adults who love animation. If that sounds like you, you're basically just like me, and you should consider subscribing. I do animation deep dives every other week. So imagine this. 2 animated shows are developing romance arcs. Show A only includes heterosexual couples. Show B includes a wide range of sexualities. Show B immediately taps into an audience that Show A just completely ignores. And in doing so, Show A doesn't just lose relevance, it loses its reach. There's a reason Lumity, fan arts, and animations, and animatics, and merch are flooding the internet. It wasn't just about representation. It was a genuinely compelling romance in a fantastic animated series. Dana Terrace didn't write her characters to be gay just to check a box. She did it because queer people exist, and queer kids exist too. Out there in the world, there are hundreds, if not thousands of kids who light up when they're watching TV and they see a character that looks like them, loves like them, and feels like them. And characters like Luce, Amity, Ida, and so many more on the show help them feel seen. Even if Lumity played a big part in the Owl House getting canceled, there are still plenty of better places for inclusive animation fans to build community. One of them is YouTube. Indie animation is absolutely thriving right now. While many major studios aren't willing to risk controversial backlash, many independent creators are willing to take that risk. And indie animation on YouTube has been including queer romance for over a decade. Not everything needs a massive budget or corporate backing. Whether it's a full episodic series or a 5-minute thesis film by a student, indie animation is absolutely overflowing with creativity and inclusion. And while Disney often makes sure that its queer characters aren't central to the plot, so that way those scenes can be cut for international releases, other networks haven't followed that formula. Cartoon Network, for example, has been a trailblazer in LGBTQ+ representation. Adventure Time gave us Marceline and Bubblegum, whose love story developed over 8 seasons. Steven Universe had a massive cultural impact on queer teens in the early 2010s. Believe me, I was one of them. Ruby, Sapphire, Garnet, Pearl, and Stefani provided lesbian and non-binary inclusion that couldn't be scrubbed out of the story without ruining the episodes entirely. Even The Amazing World of Gumball had many confirmed LGBTQ plus characters, alongside a family dynamic that challenged traditional roles, and lots of cross-dressing. Look, the point is this. If you clicked on this video, you enjoy animation that stands for something. You care about queer characters being included naturally, not for PR points, but because queer people exist everywhere, and animation fans especially deserve stories that reflect that reality. So if you miss Lumity as much as I do, remember this. That relationship stays alive for as long as we celebrate it. Support inclusive shows, support indie creators, and never back down for what you believe in. Because hey, maybe one day Disney will recognize the error of their ways and bring the Owl House back. Wait, no, not like that. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Please leave a comment. I love seeing what you guys enjoyed in my videos and elements that I can improve on in the future. And as always, remember to support creators however you can, because the more we watch, share, and celebrate their work, the more of it we get. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.